Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. First tonight, a victim survivor of child abuse has shared her journey to homelessness, left couch surfing after a marriage breakdown. Shelley Ford has been waiting 2 years on the priority housing wait list and is pleading with the state government to urgently intervene.
Taking one day at a time, Shelley Ford is rebuilding her life after a relationship breakdown left her homeless 2 years ago.
I became single. The rent was $350 a week. I couldn't afford it. I had no option but to move out, which left me in the situation that I am in today.
The 55-year-old has custody of her 15-year-old niece. The pair are couch surfing while they wait for social housing.
Over the last 2 years, a number of people have helped us, and I just think that I've warmly out my welcome at most places.
The disability pensioner has been on the priority wait list for more than 2 years. Labor says, unfortunately, her situation is not uncommon.
It's unacceptable that 4,500 other Tasmanians are waiting on the highest priority wait list. It's unacceptable that the average wait time is now 90 weeks.
People, whatever their need, whatever their level of homelessness or insecurity for housing they're at, can contact Housing Connect and be directed to the best available resources for them.
But Shelley has another sad tale to tell. She was one of 5 children molested by her uncle between the 1970s and 1990s. 4 decades later, her perpetrator was charged for his crimes.
I was 5, and to have my day in court that day, it was unreal. It was unreal.
Shelley's relentless pursuit for justice saw 69-year-old Philip James Scott sentenced to 12 years in prison. Now that chapter of her life is closed, she says it's time to look forward to a brighter future.
Now that the court case is over and done with, I want my life to move forward so I can have life.
Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians are confused about where to seek help about child safety and wellbeing, according to a report by the Auditor-General. He's made 7 recommendations to improve the state's advice and referral line, the first stop for people reporting concerns.
Not only people within government agencies, but the broader community are sometimes unclear on who it is that they need to make a referral to when they have concerns about the wellbeing of a child or young person.
Mr Whitehead also found the service is meeting outcomes. The document will now be tabled in Parliament. With increasing cost of living, the budgets of many Tasmanian families are already tight and rising fuel prices aren't helping. They're well above $2 a litre and expected to climb even further with the fuel excise cut to end in 3 months.
Going out for a drive is getting even more difficult.
It's a bit ridiculous, yeah. You don't get anywhere near as much for your money, obviously.
Petrol prices continuing to rise despite a cut in the fuel excise. Unleaded selling close to $2.30 a litre at some service stations.
The reason the fuel prices are continuing to rise is, of course, the global oil prices going up. And one of the biggest effects, of course, is the war in the Ukraine.
Data from the ACCC found when the excise was cut in March, the average retail price in Hobart fell between 25 and 48 cents per litre. Prices now returning to what they were before the reduction. This car owner in Hobart feeling the pinch when filling up his classic car.
It's up. It's up. Yeah, I don't like it, but anyway.
The full excise will be restored in September. The RACT is opposing any further cuts, saying the revenue collected is used for future road projects and safety improvements.
If you cut the fuel excise, you cut the funding to our roads, and government will have to find funding from somewhere else. Now, it's important to note the fuel excise is already declining because vehicles are much more fuel efficient.
They're asking drivers to seek alternative ways to get to where they need to be.
We strongly suggest cutting down your travel if you can. Car sharing is useful. You may find other means of transport.
Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
Traffic in Launceston CBD was brought to a standstill after a crash between a truck and 4-wheel drive this morning. It happened at the intersection of Bathurst and Balfour Streets. The road was partially blocked for more than an hour before being reopened to traffic at midday. Police say no serious injuries were reported. Two Tasmanians are being recognised for their service during the Second World War. In a moving tribute, the pair received special mementos as the RWII marks its centenary year.
Celebrating a century of service in style, the RWAF has honoured two Tasmanian centenarians. Jean Robertson and Jack Eaton, both 100 years young, have been recognised in an intimate ceremony.
Well, there would have only been a handful of these presentations given, so I think the opportunity to do, not just one but two in one day is really special. I think it's great. It's not twice as special, it's like 3 times as special because it's so rare.
In 1943, Jean enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force as a nurse during World War II.
I was nursing, and mostly the people, the servicemen returning from New Guinea with infections and injuries. And that was in Ascot Racecourse, which was the ward was converted to wards.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
A witty woman with many talents, Jean is an avid golfer, former model, carer and mother.
I know it means a lot to her, because, and she was very nervous this morning. So, and she likes to look well, as you can see. It does mean a lot to her, but she's, it's like, too much fussing, but I know it does mean a lot to her. And I think she deserves it.
I feel honoured.
She's been a volunteer up until her 90s, notably knitting more than 2,000 poppies for Anzac services. While centenarian Jack Eaton remembers his time serving Australia and the South Pacific, working in communications.
The comradeship that you mould while you're in groups of men. Yes, you make friends for life.
A humble recipient for his dedication to defending our country during the Second World War.
There's thousands of other people out there. They should be recognised as well.
Both veterans deserving of the sentimental celebration. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
A hockey team's treasure hunt is gathering pace as it consolidates 75 years of history. But not all the memorabilia for Devonport's oldest club is stashed away. There's even a championship ball kept in a past player's kitchen.
What really sticks with the players at the West Devonport Hockey Club is its rich fabric of history.
Probably had over 1,000 people come through the club.
And they're answering the call for past photos, uniforms, well, just about anything. Even a championship winning ball kept in scorer Sandra Hobson's kitchen.
What words would describe it? I just love it.
A pioneer in her own right, Sandra was part of West Devonport's first women's team in the 80s and now plays with her daughter.
When you walk out on the field and your children are on that field with you, you just sort of feel like, wow.
The artefacts are coming out to mark 75 years of the club's history. Guernseys predating the West Devonport name have been unearthed, this from the old Devonians in the 40s and 50s, while ancient scuffed silverware is joined by a more modern company, mainly in the Women's League.
7 grand finals in a row and we won 4 of the premierships. Just to know what has happened previously and the mergers between the old clubs and where we've got to now, hopefully we can continue being West Devonport.
And the biggest change over 75 years of hockey in Devonport, synthetic turf. Could you imagine playing on grass in winter?
Totally different. Different style of hockey back then, a lot slower.
The hunt for old gold is speeding up though. The reunion's on July 2. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Thousands of Tasmanians have bared their legs and braved the cold in a bid to raise awareness about mental health. Speak Up, Stay Chatty's Short Stay campaign aiming to spark a conversation and encourage people to open up if they're not feeling okay.
A short way to change conversations about mental health. 15,000 people shedding their winter willies on the shortest day of the year for a uniquely Tasmanian cause.
I am feeling the cold, though I do think it is quite Tasmanian to wear your shorts all winter anyway.
Pretty good. So far, the heaters in the classrooms are lovely, but...
Speak Up, Stay Chatty's organisers say many still find it difficult to open up about their mental well-being.
We also see comments on social media, receive a lot of messages and have a lot of conversations to know that there's still so many people out there that aren't comfortable to talk about this stuff.
From schools to footy clubs, the cause united a variety of Launceston groups.
It's really diverse. We're going into schools, we've just been to a real estate agent, we've gone into construction construction places this morning.
In Hobart, students and staff at St Mary's College braved the elements. The girls agreeing to support the charity earlier in the year, keen to help them spread their message.
We've all had lots of experience with them, like having them come to talk to us on leadership days and things like that.
Ultimately, the girls spend 6 hours, 7 hours a day here at school, and having adults they feel comfortable with gives them a chance to feel very unpressured.
Organisers say braving the cold for a day is symbolic of what they want people to do throughout the year, encouraging those in need of help to speak up about how they're feeling.
There's another 364 days in a year where you need to focus on it and learn about it as much as you can.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
And Australia's Antarctic expeditioners have marked the shortest day of the year by taking a polar plunge in sub-zero conditions. As cold as it looks, it was much warmer in than out, with the temperature plummeting to minus 25 degrees on the ice, while in the water it hovered around 2 degrees. The bone-chilling dip is an Antarctic tradition to celebrate the middle of winter and the return of the sun. But residents at our most remote station will have to wait for that. The next sunrise isn't due until next week. One of the sounds of the 80s will play in Hobart this spring. Ali Campbell, the frontman for British reggae group UB40, will visit the city as part of an Australian tour. The singer was the voice behind the band's biggest hits, which include Red Red Wine and Kingston Town. The concert will take place at City Hall on Friday, September 30. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. A learning initiative will see children receive stickers and a free book for attending education sessions. The Passport to Learning program endeavours to encourage early education for kids aged 4 years and under.
We know that the very early years are critically important when it comes to a child's development and gaining the basic skills that can help them to learn throughout the rest of their life.
All of our programs are set up for play-based learning, so children are learning to inquire, they're learning about counting, they're learning about words and the world around them.
The interactive project aims to encourage our youngest learners while providing parents opportunities to connect with other families.
Good evening. A star forward with an impressive international resume is lining up for the Jack Jumpers this NBL season. American Rashard Kelly has inked a one-year deal with the club, and after the exit of 2 major imports, he says he's ready to make an impact.
Demolishing opponents on the European circuit, Rashard Kelly comes from winning pedigree.
Whoever I'm playing against, I've just proven that why I'm the better player. And figuring out how to win at the end of the night is just my end goal. So that's just guy I am.
The 6'7" power forward has signed on to secure the Jack Jumpers' 11th roster spot in what will be his first time on Australian soil.
I'm a little concerned about the size of your guys' animals and insects you have, you know. That's all we hear.
The import's versatility and work rate caught the eye of coach Scott Roth last summer.
With Rashard, he brings a bit of nasty and he's tough and, we're a defensive-minded team and he can guard, 3s, 4s and 5s.
Despite being a hot commodity across the globe, Kelly couldn't resist the sell from the Jackies.
Just an opportunity for success, and that's kind of what brought me to make my decision.
Historic success in their first season has seen the Nest quickly become the place to be.
This season was winding down. We were already getting hit up with people wanting to come and play in Tasmania. So we didn't do a lot of chasing. A lot of people were coming to us, which was great.
The player who will fill the third and final import spot is expected to be announced in the coming days, with all the international talent arriving here in August ahead of pre-season training.
This player has NBA experience and European experience and is going to be really good for us and will fit in great with our group.
With the loss of showman Josh Adams and Canadian Mikhail McIntosh, the newcomers have big shoes to fill. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A time and date for Hawthorn's next game at UTAS Stadium has been revealed. The Hawks will take on the Suns at 1:45 on Saturday, August 6. Details for round 23's clash against the Bulldogs in Launceston is yet to be announced. Tasmanian hockey great Eddie Ockenden headlines the Kookaburras 18-man squad named for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The 35-year-old will be only the second player to compete at 4 games, while Hobart's Josh Belts will be playing in his first as one of 8 debutants in the squad. Ranked number 1 in the world, the Kookaburras have won every Commonwealth Games gold medal since 1998. Meanwhile, in local hockey, both Derwent sides are gearing up for a tilt at Premier League glory. Derwent's women's side caused a boil-over on Saturday, thrashing ladder leader OHA 6-1. Defender Louise Maddock was one of 5 on the score sheet and says their investment in young players is paying off.
Giving those younger ones the confidence to step up and play our style of game. When we all work together, it shows.
Meanwhile, the men remain top after a similar 6-1 win over OHA. One of their recruits says he's falling back in love with the game.
I think moving over to a new side helped me, I guess, find that enjoyment back, and I'm really enjoying playing hockey again.
Derwent faces Northwest Grads this weekend.
Good evening. Hobart atop of 15 degrees today. The northern centres all reached 14, while 16 was the warmest at Campania and Bushy Park. However, cold last night at Bushy Park, just 2 degrees, while the east coast had a warmish night. Bicheno's overnight low was 13. King Island a high of 15 today. Smithton, Friendly Beaches and Grove 14. Flinders Island, St Helens, Lowhead and Strawn 13 degrees. Some rain too overnight. The best fall 37 millimetres at Serendipity, and also from that front to the east. That's where it came from. Plenty of cloud today too, streaming in from the west. Mount Reid 11 millimetres today. Low cloud from over the Southern Ocean is moving over the southern states. Not much cloud over the mainland, just a strip onshore over the east and a thin band up north. Tomorrow the large high remains over South Australia, a weak trough over southern WA ahead of the next front, which is sliding south. Winds northwest to southwest at 10 to 20 knots, tending northwesterly during the day, increasing to 30 knots over the southwest. So we have a strong wind warning there. That's from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. Forecast tomorrow, 14 for Hobart and partly cloudy. Geuston 13, top of 12 for Bothwell. Launceston expecting a high of 14 degrees with a possible late shower. 14 for Devonport with a shower developing, partly cloudy for Cressy, 12 the maximum. 14 for Burnie with showers developing, showery for Strawn, 14, and also for Curry on King Island, 15 the top there. 14 and mostly sunny for St Helens, sunny too for Swansea, 14 the high, Orford 14 as well. On Thursday, showers over the north and west extending throughout in the afternoon and evening. More showers on Friday, contracting to the west and far south by evening. Snow above 900 metres, and wet weather again on Saturday, but little reaching the east coast. A shower in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, an early shower in Melbourne. Sunny and cool in Canberra. Sunny and a bit warmer in Sydney. Sunny and warmer again in Brisbane, and add 10 degrees more if you're heading to Darwin. 11 and cloudy in Hobart, mostly clear in Launceston, 8 degrees, and 9 in Devonport and Kimberley Louise. That's the way it is at the moment.
Thank you, Peter. I'm not sure. Good night to you.